Here's your host, Anita Khan.
Good morning. It's 7:30. Welcome to Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. It's a beautiful Thursday on the outside, a bit overcast, but it's going to be a beautiful day. Nevertheless, if you're traversing the streets this morning, getting to work, good morning to you. Whatever you're doing, good morning. Also, Susan, good morning. She's taking care of things this morning. Good morning to our guest in studio. And we have another guest on the line. Today we have two segments. On the first segment, we'll discuss or we'll learn more about the upcoming Cayman Cardiovascular Healthcare Conference, which is being put on by the Cayman Heart Fund. On the second segment, we will have the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, the RCIPS, in studio. Now, we're going to turn our focus and learn from the chair of the Cayman Heart Fund, Ms. Maureen Cubbon. She is in the studio, and joining us by telephone is one of the speakers for the event, the Cayman Cardiovascular Healthcare Conference, Dr. Ravi Kishore Amancharla. He's a chief interventional cardiologist and electrophysiologist from Health City, Cayman Islands. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Ravi. Can I call you Dr. Ravi?
Yeah, please go ahead.
How are you?
Dr. Ravi.
I'm good.
Good to have you on the line this morning. Are you hearing us clearly?
No, I know. It's just that there may be, I'm calling in from my cell phone.
Okay. All right. We can hear you. Now, Maureen, it's good to have you in the studio.
Thank you. Thanks for having me
You're
back.
wearing a different hat this morning.
Today, yes, I wear my Cayman Heart Fund hat.
Normally it's a zest hat,
yes,
right?
Usually it's a food hat, but
right.
I guess food is still involved in heart health. Of course, a big part of heart health. So, yes, I'm
right.
here to talk a little bit about our exciting conference this weekend.
All right. Well, can you give us some background on the Cayman Heart Fund and the main aim of hosting the second annual Cayman Cardiovascular Healthcare Conference?
Yeah, so Cayman Heart Fund has been around for many, many years, and our main goal, of course, is to elevate education around heart health and also make sure that we are providing support accordingly and information and hosting events and health screenings with the goal to let people know that it's important to know their numbers and also understand the risks around cardiovascular health. I mean, cardiovascular related diseases is the number one cause of death globally. It certainly has a grave impact here in the Caribbean, particularly with Caribbean women. So, it's certainly something that we need to continue to focus on. And, through COVID, we've been a little quiet, but now it's time to sort of come out and be able to host a great conference this weekend. So originally it's always been a symposium. It's been a medical-based symposium, which has always been very successful locally and overseas, attracting a variety of speakers and guests. The last one we had was virtual. So this year we decided, after several years of an absence, we would call it a conference and put it over 2 days and then open it up to the public and our local medical community and professionals. And it's great. I believe we're almost to capacity, which is wonderful. It's a 2-day event. So the first day starts on Friday and it starts at 2 p.m. until 5:30. You can register still online if you head to our site, caymanheartfund.ky. Okay. And it basically will cover a variety of very, very important topics, but also one of the most exciting parts is the amount of people that are going to be coming out and speaking on behalf of cardiovascular health. We've got an amazing amount of local professionals. We've got visitors coming from overseas, and just bringing everyone in the community to talk about the variety of myriads of issues and things that have been happening in the cardiovascular health world.
And Dr. Ravi is going to be one of your speakers.
Absolutely. I mean, he's a pinnacle speaker. Health City is an amazing sponsor. So we're very, very grateful for their support, as always. And then Saturday, we're also open to the public more, too. So people who are interested in learning a little bit more about cardiovascular health, they can join us on Saturday. The main part of Saturday is our health screening, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a bit. Okay. But that's the main part, and that's free health screening for the public.
Okay, great. Dr. Ravi, you will be speaking, as we just heard, at the conference. What topic will you be covering?
I'm talking on a topic which is very important from the preventive angle, which Maureen was mentioning. Mm-hmm. This is on statins, why people are reluctant to take statins, and how we could improve the adherence. So it's a clinical topic which will be useful to the general practice public in general. So that's the focus. It's basically how we can leverage a very important drug's impact on the prevention of cardiovascular disease.
Okay. Now, Maureen, what is the theme for this year's conference?
Well, it's cardiovascular health for everyone.
Cardiovascular health for everyone.
Very inclusive.
I like that.
Yeah.
Very like. I like
Well,
that.
we were talking off-site, and like, everyone's got a heart, so it's going to. We're all going to either feel it or be impacted by heart health in one shape or form. So we want to make sure, and there's been a lot of progression. There's been a lot of topics, such as Dr. Ravi's topic, which, it does probe for more information, and it's very thoughtful and insightful to think a little bit about where are we at now. What kind of advances do we have medically? What kind of equipment? What kind of general thought processes are there? And how can we now move forward with all of the best information and make sound decisions, not only as a community, but as individually? So be able to empower people to ask the questions that they need to and not be afraid to get to know their numbers or understand what their risk factors are.
Okay. So we know this conference is for everyone.
It is.
Because cardiovascular health is for everyone.
Yes.
How can folks register for this conference?
A couple different ways. We're on social media, so under Cayman Heart Fund, there would be links available. You can head to our site. That's probably the easiest way. And there's a very simple link. You pop on there and fill out your information. You should be good to go.
So let's go through the time again. The
Yes.
time. This is...
So it starts tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Friday.
Yeah, tomorrow, Friday.
Okay.
It starts in the morning. So we have registration first thing in the morning, and then our speakers start registration from 8, and then we go right through for the whole day. Until you got it, until 5. There's a variety of speakers, agendas, everything's available online for you to take a look through. Like I said, Dr. Ravi is one of our feature speakers, and I think certainly for me personally, it's a very interesting topic because it was, I grew up with heart disease in my family, and taking meds were always one of those things that there's we don't need to take meds. We're we can move through this and whatnot. But so it's going to be interesting to see how there is certainly case and provocation around that and what the thought process is, because we do live in a different world now. So
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and then on Saturday it's from 8 a.m. until noon. And that is when our health screening is going to be happening. A few speakers through that point too. So some pretty interesting topics.
And like you say, the health screening is absolutely free.
It is absolutely free, yes.
Now, will you have vendors there at this conference?
Yes, we will. We'll have a few vendors there. So people will be able to visit some of the booths, our sponsor booths. So some of the people who are going to be speaking will have information available. So yeah, it's quite interactive. It's not only just the health screening part and then the engaging speakers part, but there is ability to be able to network. We've got hundreds of people. I think the last count was close to 400.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be big.
Wow.
It's going to be big.
And this is at the
Marriott. Yeah, it is at the
Grand
Marriott.
Cayman
Yeah, you got it.
We forgot Marriott.
Yes,
Marriott,
Marriott. Yeah, we better tell them where it is. It's at the Marriott.
It's at the Marriott.
Yes, it's at the Marriott. So that's what we're aiming for. And like I said, it's a good mix of public, professional, and a wonderful way for the community to come together and share thoughts and feelings around what's happening in the community.
Okay. Now we know how to register, where to register, and where are we going for the conference. Dr. Ravi, what are the symptoms of poor heart health?
Oh, well, that's a complex question in the sense that heart health can come with any symptom, but the commonest symptoms you notice are what everybody knows is that chest pain and shortness of breath. But it's important to understand that these may not be ubiquitous, and you could have just a simple fatigue, fatigue on exertion, listlessness. These could be an important presentation symptom, especially in women. So they may not have chest pain or breathing difficulty or dizziness all the time. But of course, the iconic symptom is chest pain, of course. When you chest pain on exertion, a kind of a pain which they have never had before. The description itself leads to the diagnosis of heart disease sometimes. But that is, having said that, there can be absolutely no symptoms and just progressive deterioration in health.
Okay. Sometimes, you'll feel, sometimes people will feel a chest pain or something like that, and they're like, okay, it's gas. What would you say to that?
Yes, that's absolutely the commonest differential diagnosis. It's a wishful thinking on all our part. We always like to attribute anything to a simpler issue and try to kind of brush it off. So that's one of the factors why this confusion arises. But having said that, both so-called gas and the chest pain, they come in the central part of the chest because the esophagus, as we know, is the food pipe traverses the chest. So any issues with the esophagus will produce symptoms fairly similar to the cardiac. So it is a very important differential, and it's one of the commonest problems we face in the emergency room, that we have to make every effort to rule out a cardiac issue. Further, of course, there have been a lot of fatalities when people don't realize it and discharge the patient on simple Tums and antacids and ask them to go away, and they drop dead the evening. So it's an important differential, and people should be educated on not to ignore any central chest symptom.
I absolutely agree with that one. Now, is there a link between cholesterol and poor heart health?
Yeah, that's one of the most proven things globally in the last few decades. The number of amount of data we have on the so-called cholesterol heart link is very strong and very resounding. But of course, you have skeptics questioning this link. But I am fairly convinced that the link is very, very strong. And there's also data that you reduce the cholesterol, the heart health improves. And that's one of the factors why in the last few decades the cardiac mortality has a significant downtrend. People live longer, people have fewer cardiac events in their lifetime when they are on optimum lifestyle and treatment.
Okay. And speaking of lifestyle, how important is a healthy diet to reduce the risk of developing any type of coronary heart disease?
That's one of the pillars of cardiac prevention, a good nutritious diet. The controversy is what is the ideal diet, that keeps going across. But in general, in addition to exercise and adherence to good habits, this is an important pillar of management.
Okay. Now, Maureen, you were saying earlier that you became involved with Cayman Heart Fund because of family having heart disease and
definitely. I mean, it's something that's been around me and in my family, and it just made me aware from the beginning. And someone who is a chef and cooks for a living and very interested in health and wellness around food. Being part of Cayman Heart Fund is important for me from that angle, obviously all angles. But one of the big things that we are trying to do and will be doing this year is really focusing in on how we can help the community and Cayman understand how to manage their risk factors. First, understand your risk factors. What are they? How can you then interpret them and make them into something that's livable in your own life and lifestyle? Because everyone lives differently,
That's right.
And everyone we all know we need to eat better and be better, but
we never do it.
We can do small bits of it, and I think a little bit goes a long way, especially when it just comes to overall health. But certainly, our goal is to be able to focus in on those heart healthy habits that feel accessible for everyone in Cayman, and that's one of our biggest pillars this year, to be able to do that. And a big step towards that is really putting a conference like this on that has a variety of topics and a variety of experts. It's pretty remarkable, some of the things we'll be speaking of, which we can go over in a little bit. Yes.
We have to take a quick break first. Thanks to our sponsor this morning of the Business Buzz, Cayman Insurance Center and Total Health. Thank you so much for coming on board.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Anton Bancroft Borden. Anton Borden came of age at a time when educational opportunities in the Cayman Islands were very limited, and he made the best of what they were. In 1943, he left Cayman to seek his fortune in Colon, Panama. After 4 years, he returned home and started his own business, which included barbering and opening a modern dancing studio. He was elected as vestryman representing Bordentown. With the advent of constitutional change in the late 1950s, he became a founding member of the National Democratic Party and was elected under their banner in 1960. His political career spanned 12 years. He was married to Vernice Nee Miller, and the two had 5 children.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
And for 45 years, we have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz. This is our first segment, and in studio joining me I have Miss Maureen Cubbon. She's the chair of the Cayman Heart Fund, and joining us on the telephone we have Dr. Ravi Kishore Amancharla. He is the chief interventional cardiologist and electrophysiologist from Health City, Cayman. Dr. Ravi?
Yeah, hi, I'm here.
You're sipping your coffee while you're waiting?
Yes, I am.
Dr. Ravi, it's good to have you with us. Now, how does family history, we just looked at how a healthy diet helps to reduce the risk of developing coronary heart disease, but how does family history affect one's heart health?
Well, in my experience and my opinion, family history is one of the most important factors in which affects the cardiovascular health. If you have a family history of premature heart disease, for example, one's mother has a cardiac event or a stroke below the age of 65, and father has a similar episode below the age of 55. These are situations where you need to be very, very careful. You may also be prone to a premature cardiac event. So these are the targets. I mean, these are the people we need to target for more intense scrutiny, close follow-up, and risk factor mitigation and risk education on the cardiac risk factors very early in the game. In fact, very, very early in the game, maybe in the 20s, you need to start looking at them very seriously.
In the 20s? Oh, that's pretty young, Dr. Ravi.
No question about it. So the question is like this, So from what we know, there is something in the body which is stimulating the deposition of the plaques, and whatever this the source for such a issue is, it starts very early. It starts, it's a metabolic issue, and the surrogate of all this is the cholesterol, what we know. So imagine being exposed, your arteries being exposed to a high cholesterol right from very early childhood. So the damage is constant, right? So you need to limit the damage early in the game. I mean, you're born with a cholesterol of, say, 30 to 35 milligrams, but that ends up going to, the bad cholesterol, and that ends up going to 140, 150 in some people. So you can imagine what we call as a cholesterol burden the aging person is faced with. So you need to start very early in the game and try to address the risk factors.
Okay. And at this conference, Maureen, tell us some of what's on the agenda.
Oh, we've got lots on the agenda. So, to what Dr. Ravi is saying, there's so many different factors that we need to take a look at when it comes to cardiovascular health. So, we're talking about statin intolerance, neonatal cardiology, looking at things like, the epidemic of global heart health failure, anything to do with abnormalities, cardiac surgery, heart disease overall, and then, taking a little bit more of a higher level approach too, and taking a look at what those risk factors can be, what's modifiable, what's acute. Congenital heart defects is a huge thing, especially here in Cayman. You hear about all of these poor cases that are coming up. So we are looking at trying to look at a holistic view, not only from a medical point of view, but also what can be very impactful for everyone. So, I'm excited to see that, we've got a amazing group of speakers that are going to be coming together to speak on this behalf, which is really good.
And let's talk a little bit about the screening.
Yeah.
What would you be screening for?
Well, the screening is important. On Dr. Ravi's note, we want to do a know your numbers approach, and that's the campaign that we're going to be running.
I have no idea about my numbers.
A lot of people probably don't, unless they're forced to or go to the doctors, or and a year goes by so quickly, right? We're already in June, and it's recommended to do this often, certainly at the very least on an annual basis. So we're trying to make sure that people have accessibility to the really important things that you need to know. So cholesterol, as Dr. Ravi mentioned, we'll be screening for that. So we'll be doing total cholesterol, good and bad cholesterol, triglycerides, and then also glucose levels and blood pressure, and then weight and BMI. So it takes probably anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes a person. We will be taking a small little pinprick of blood at the end of your finger, but that goes into our fun little cardio check machines, and it takes a few minutes to process those results, but then we'll be able to consult. We'll have professionals on site to consult with people and let them know what their numbers are. They'll be able to take that information home with them. And anyone who requires a little bit more attention will be encouraged to go ahead and follow that up. And it's a wonderful way to get your screening easily at no cost and available, very accessible. So all you would need to do is just come down to the Marriott on Saturday morning. We're aiming to start the screenings at 8 a.m. and we'll be finishing up by 11:30. So head down there, and then we can register. It's likely we'll have quite a few people, so we ask people to make sure you bring your bottles of water. There's no need to fast. So
I was going to ask you that.
No need to fast, no need, because the numbers will be accommodated accordingly. So anyone who's on medications, please take your medications. Don't modify anything. The screening is there to give us a good picture of your numbers at the moment, and also be able to give you an idea of what your risk factors could be, or whether or not you're in the lines of where you should be. So do come. It may be a little bit of a wait, but I think it's a wait worth it, because it's a screening of this caliber generally will cost out of someone's health insurance or out of their pocket, but we're doing it as a community service. So we look forward to hopefully many people coming out and seeing us.
And it's absolutely free.
Absolutely free at the Marriott, and you head into the Marriott and you head up to the ballroom. We're in the ballroom.
Dr. Ravi?
Yep.
Before we let you go, I know you have things to do. Can you share with our listeners any new insights relating to the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease?
No, nothing. Nothing really has changed because the knowledge of what needs to be done to prevent has been around for a couple of decades now. The question is the adherence and compliance to the preventive measures. This is what I agree with Maureen, that conferences like this and gestures like the free screening will motivate people to know their numbers, understand the significance of these numbers, and maybe stimulate compliance to the preventive measures. We all know what we don't need to do, but we keep doing it. That's the problem.
Yeah, we all know what we need to do, but we absolutely don't do it.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's time to take control of our lives, because what's your theme again, Maureen?
Heart health for everyone.
Just wanted you to say it. Dr. Ravi, it's a pleasure having you this morning, joining us. I wish you were in the studio.
Yeah, me too. I'm lonely here.
You've got me.
You know what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
You're like my friend. It's different. I'll see Dr. Ravi tomorrow, so that's all right.
Okay.
I'm lucky. I'm going to be with him for the weekend, so that's fine.
Dr. Ravi, what would you like to leave with our listeners this morning?
Take care of your heart health, I guess.
Well, we'll tell you to do the same too, because most times doctors forget that they have to take care of themselves,
Absolutely.
So we'll like you to take care of yourself so you can take care of us.
Yeah.
Well, have a wonderful time at the conference, and we wish you all the best. And hopefully one of these days we'll see you in the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ravi. That was Dr. Ravi Kishore Amancharla, Chief Interventional Cardiologist and Electrophysiologist from Health City, Cayman Islands. And, of course, he'll be presenting at the conference tomorrow. So, Maureen, I know you have a different hat on because you're a chef. You've got your business zest. You prepare wonderful meals, and I'm pretty sure a lot of what you know about heart health goes into your meal preparations.
It does. Outside of that part, I do try to be as mindful as possible. I'm like everyone. I know what I should be doing and what I should be doing better. And I think it can be overwhelming once you do understand your risk factors. It can be hard, and it can be anyone from any walk of life that could be a little bit overwhelmed of where do I go from here. And what we want to do as Cayman Heart Fund is be a source of information and support, and we're really going to be concentrating on that public health part of things. So keep an eye out on the things that we've got going on. We've got an amazing new space in town that we want to convert into something that people will be able to come in and access for a variety of different pieces when it comes to heart health. So we're very excited about that. So.
What did it take to put this conference together?
A lot. Boy, it took a lot. And, we're very grateful for everyone that worked with us. I want to take a moment to thank our variety of sponsors and speakers. Of course, Health City Cayman. We've got Baptist Health South Florida, Cleveland Clinic in Florida, Health Services Authority here in Cayman, Holy Cross Health, Memorial Healthcare System, Jackson Health, Doctors Hospital. We've got some amazing people going to be speaking on this panel. I keep looking at the agenda and going, gosh, this is pretty awesome that we're doing this here in Cayman. We've got Healthy Futures. We've got a variety of different people and representatives from government. We've got our new Chief Medical Officer speaking. So it's going to be a really great way to bring all of us together. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing what's going to come out of it. Like I said, my main push today is to ask people to please try to make it down to the health screening. If for some reason you cannot, we will be doing this in the community and throughout the community throughout the year. So,
and you'll keep us posted about
definitely keep you posted. Everything's on our site. It'll be on social. And yes, we're very much looking forward to, continuing to help educate people around heart health.
The health minister will be there.
Yes, she will. Yes,
Okay,
Ms.
she
Rita
will.
will be there, absolutely.
Maureen, it has been a pleasure.
Thank you for having us. We are grateful.
And it's lovely to hear all about the conference, and we wish you well.
Thank you. Thank you very
Good
much.
luck, and let's hope that everyone will come out and especially get that screening done.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We're going to take a quick break, news, traffic, weather, and when we come back with the second segment, we'll have the RCIPS on board.
Thank you, Anita. And studio time now by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
Hey, have you started preparing for hurricane season yet?
Not yet. I'm not sure where to start.
Well, making a grocery shopping list is a good place to begin. You'll want to stock up on non-perishable food items like canned goods, peanut butter, and crackers.
What about water?
Definitely. You'll want to have plenty of bottled water on hand. And don't forget about hygiene and first aid supplies.
That's a good point.
Foster's has a great emergency kit checklist online. Just go to fosters.ky or look out for the helpful signs when shopping in store. Foster's. Better because we care.
Follow Radio Cayman on Twitter. All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Follow us at twitter.com/Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Island.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. A warning from the public about a text message fraud campaign. Radio Cayman's April Cummings has more.
The RCIPS Cybercrime Unit says it is aware of a fraud campaign targeting Cayman National Bank customers using SMS or what are commonly known as text messages. These relate to debit orders or login attempts. The messages ask recipients to call a number. It's 1-888-958-7985. But that is not a number that belongs to Cayman National Bank, and police are warning recipients not to call the number in the message. Police and the bank confirm these messages are fake and that someone is trying to defraud you. They say the bank will never ask for your PIN, password, or one-time login code in a text message. If you are in any way concerned about an electronic message that you've received from your bank, always check directly with them first by using an advertised number or a personal visit. April Cummings, Radio Cayman News.
Cayman is hosting the Caribbean Customs Law Enforcement Council's 45th conference this week with some 49 delegates. CBC Director Charles Clifford.
It is all about regional cooperation and, in fact, international cooperation, breaking down silos to make sure that we are individually and collectively more effective as law enforcement agencies. So the fact that we're hosting it here in Cayman underscores our commitment to the organization.
Val Marikitz Walker is the CEO and Commissioner of the Jamaica Customs Agency.
Just to come here and connect and network and seeing people. Remember, coming out of COVID, you're so accustomed to the online environment, but so I'm happy to be here and to be a part of it and to learn more, to share more.
CCLEC is a regional organization that promotes cooperation among customs and law enforcement agencies in the region. Lands and legislation. During their May 30th meeting, Cayman's leaders approved the issuance of a coastal work permit for the construction of an 880-square-foot T-shaped dock with cabana offshore East End near Seaview Road, just east of Franks Sound. They also noted, quote, no interest in acquiring 2 parcels of land in Boddentown near Midland Acres and another in Seaview Road just east of Franks Sound as well. Cabinet greenlit the renewal of the lease for the passport office, as well as leasing of residential accommodations in Georgetown. Cabinet agreed to the purchase of a parcel in West Bay just east of the Birch Tree Hill area for, quote, intended use by the general public. They also discussed approval for the disposal of freehold interest of a parcel in West Bay to the Health Services Authority. That's where the West Bay Health Center is currently located. Turning to legislation, Cabinet approved the Public Lands Amendment and the Validation Bill for presentation to Parliament before noting a few reports. The 2022 Hazard Management Cayman Islands Annual Report, as well as the 2021 and 22 reports for the Ministry of Investment, Innovation and Social Development. Cabinet also reappointed Dr. George Meggs as Deputy Chair of the Health Practice Commission, appointed Mark Parchman as the Chair of the National Roads Authority, and approved 7 applications for new notaries public. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. Nursery school children have been injured in a knife attack in the French town of Annecy. 4 are in hospital, 2 are in a critical condition. The alleged attacker, a Syrian man, has been arrested. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has visited the region of Kherson to see the damage caused by the destruction of a dam on Tuesday. He visited people in hospital who were injured in the disaster and praised rescue teams. Many people are reported to have been killed in an explosion at a mosque in Afghanistan's northern Badakhshan province. The blast happened during funeral prayers for a Taliban official who was killed by a car bomb on Tuesday. A Chinese rights lawyer has been sentenced to 3.5 years in jail for subverting state power after speaking out about being tortured during an earlier detention. Thick smoke from intense wildfires in Canada is continuing to blanket much of North America. Some Broadway shows were cancelled in New York due to poor air quality. Most of the fires are in Quebec. Saudi Arabia has condemned an attack on its embassy in Sudan. It says armed groups were there to blame for what it called sabotage and tampering on the mission and its annexes. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio. The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 84 degrees. Relative humidity is 83%. The barometric pressure is 29.98 inches and rising. The wind is out of the southeast at 5 knots. Overnight low temperature was 81 degrees. Synopsis indicate light to moderate winds and slight to moderate seas are expected to continue across the Cayman Islands over the next 24 hours due to a weak pressure gradient across the northwest Caribbean. An upper level trough interaction with a tropical wave will support isolated showers across the area through tomorrow. Radar images show isolated showers in and around the Cayman Islands moving towards the northeast. But the forecast for today calling for cloudy skies with a 40% chance of showers, and they will be locally heavy at times, leading to flooding of low-lying areas. Temperatures today will be in the upper 80s. Winds will be south to southeast, 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Pretty much the same for tonight. Cloudy skies with a 40% chance of showers and possible thunder, and temperatures will fall to the upper 70s tonight. Winds will be south to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. We're presently at a low tide, and the next high tide will be this afternoon at 12 minutes past 1, and a low tide again tonight at 7:30. Sun will set this evening at a minute after 7 and will rise tomorrow morning at 5:47. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions expected to continue through Friday afternoon. That's the very latest on your weather report.
Mommy, why can't dogs talk? Why do I have to go to school and you don't? Why do you sing in the morning when you're bad at it? Why don't you brush your teeth when you take me to school? Why doesn't it ever snow here? Why does Daddy take the bus to work? Why are trees so tall? Why don't you tell me where babies come from? Mommy, Mommy, Mommy!
We're like a kid that doesn't ask a million questions before noon. CG Brit-K. Good like that.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Brit-K, where people come first.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power just to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Change your thinking, change your life. There's no great success without commitment.
As motivational speaker Tony Robbins said, individuals who succeed have a belief in the power of commitment. If there's a single belief that seems almost inseparable from success, it's that there's no great success without commitment. If you look at successful people in any field, you'll find they're not necessarily the best and the brightest, the fastest and the strongest. You'll find they're the ones with the most commitment.
Change your thinking, change your life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. OnCourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look at traffic. Some roads are wet, so please drive with extra care. As we look to Agnes Way coming off of the Linford Pearson Highway, traffic is steady. Bumper-to-bumper traffic on the Linford Pearson Highway. On the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, the roads are wet, so please drive with extra caution. And traffic is moving on moderately in both directions. Steady traffic coming off of the Esterly Tibbetts Highway and off of Bobby Thompson Way as well. Continuing on to Huldah Avenue, traffic is moderate, as well as on Elgin Avenue. Further up on Shamrock Road, moderate flow of traffic. Coming off of Rex Creighton Boulevard, traffic is moderate in both directions. Bumper-to-bumper traffic heading to Georgetown on Crew Road, and eastbound traffic on Crew Road is light to moderate. And that's what's happening on your roads. And before we go, Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue is flowing moderately. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another traffic report. Have a good morning and drive with extra caution.
From boat days to beach gatherings, Leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Excuse me, I noticed you from afar.
Really? Me?
Well, not you. The KFC sandwich you're eating?
Oh, Zinger.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be funny.
No, it's called the Zinger Sandwich. Crunchy, juicy, 100% chicken breast, crisp lettuce, sweet mayo on a seeded bun with a little zing. KFC's chicken is not factory breaded, frozen and refried like the Burger Boys. Customize your KFC Zinger and dip it in barbecue sauce.
Wow, now I'm starting to notice you too.
KFC, it's finger licking good.
In celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Department of Lands and Survey, land register rectification fees have been temporarily waived. Property owners now have the ability to amend land registers for free until July 30th. Updating your land register improves communication, provides legal protection, makes property transactions easier, and protects against fraud. Keeping your current legal name and addresses updated is required on your land register, and now you can do it for free until July 30th. For more information, contact Lands and Survey at registry.info@gov.ky or call 244-3420.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. This is our second and final segment for this Thursday morning. I am scared I have the police in the studio.
You are not scared.
Joining us this morning for the monthly Business Buzz session, we've got Chief Inspector Ebanks, and joining him, PC Jodi-Ann Powery. She's a police media officer, and from the RCIPS Media and Communications Unit. Do I have your title right?
Actually, it's Chief Superintendent.
Yeah, Chief Superintendent. Oh, okay, Chief Superintendent. Brad Ebanks. Sorry about that. Now, this is our regular segment with the RCIPS, and it's on every second Thursday of the month. So, in this segment, we'll learn about road safety related issues that are affecting us here in the Cayman Islands and the impact that it can have on our communities, how it is investigated, and what is being done about it. Now, we're going to jump right in, and we're going to talk about DUI. Since the reduction in the DUI levels, a change that was made to the Traffic Act last year. Question is, has there been a difference in the number of arrests made? Chief Inspector.
Yeah, good morning, Anita. And
Chief Superintendent. Now I'm going to get
That's
charged.
okay.
I'm going to get charged for this today.
That's fine.
I'm going to get a ticket for this today.
Yeah, that's fine. Good morning, and good morning to your listening public. As always, we're here to speak on the importance of road safety. A number of contributing factors when we look at serious accidents and serious and fatal accidents is speeding, drunk driving, and distracted driving. For this year, from January to present, we've had just over 120 persons arrested for drunk driving. That's over 70%. Remember now, this has been reduced from 100 to 70. So that compared to last year we had just under 100 persons arrested for drunk driving. So we are certainly increasing our enforcement.
You said it's a 17% increase?
Yes.
During the same period?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we're out there. We're actually doing enforcements. A number of these incidents have come to our attention through motor vehicle accidents, as well as our proactive policing. Through vehicle checkpoints, you will see on weekends, you'll come up on a vehicle checkpoint, what we call VCPs for short, abbreviated. And these are all
police block.
Yes, roadblock. People call it roadblock. Yes. That's right. Yeah. So all these things are put in place in efforts to actually curtail drunk driving and other traffic offences as well, and other criminal offences.
No, that's a significant increase, 17% increase.
Yes.
Why do you think that increase? Is it because of Sunday brunches and stuff like that?
There's a number of contributing factors. One of them is because the limit has been lowered as well. So if you're above 70 above, then you're now considered drunk driving, or driving under the influence. And I think people are just not adhering to the drunk driving laws and regulations. So we have to show enforcement.
Okay. Now, what do these DUI stats mean for the police and, of course, for motorists?
Well, it means that one, we have increased our enforcement efforts, and that is a continuous thing. We are constantly trying to make sure that we are accounting for the issues that are on the roadways, because the roadways is where we have the highest number of loss per year. As a service. So we are constantly trying to mitigate those circumstances in the preservation of life, or in the effort of preservation of life. But it also shows that regardless of the amount of media campaigns that have been done in regards to DUI and the enforcement efforts that have been going on, that people continue to still drunk drive on our roadways.
I can never understand that. I cannot understand that. Chances are police will pull you over.
Yes, that is a very, very high chance, and I think that there is such a culture of it's not me. It wouldn't happen to me. That couldn't happen to me, but it could happen to anybody. And with there being a number of accidents or collisions, rather, that have happened as a result of DUIs, the chances are that could also be you.
Chief Superintendent, you want to add to that? Anything you'd like to add?
Can I add some stats?
Sure.
And
we're waiting for the stats.
And they are staggering. Let me break this down by the year. In 2020, we had 9 fatalities. 2021, 8. Last year, 15. This year, 5. 1 in February, 2 in March, and 2 in April. When we add those figures up, that is 37 fatalities between 2020 and 2023.
For a small
37. And we're just in June this year. I would love to see no more.
We all would love to see
We would all love to see that.
No more.
But when we look at these stats, there is no question where we have to focus our attention. And that is not only from the police service, but island-wide. As a nation, we need to change our driving culture, our driving behavior. If we compare this to death by violent crimes, it cannot be compared. So that is the message that I want to put out here today, that these numbers, the deaths on our roads, are just unacceptable.
Now, what would be the main message that you'll have as it relates to DUI?
Don't drink and drive.
That's the top of the list.
That's it.
That's it.
Don't look at the limit as okay, I can drink, and I'm probably 60%, or probably 65. I'm not drunk yet. Adopt the attitude, I'm not going to drink and drive. And I'm going to implore on each member of the public here this morning, family members, when you have a discussion this weekend or before this weekend, have a discussion around how you and your family members or friends are going to, what they're going to do to make the roads safer. Yeah? When we discuss going out to have a drink, discuss a safety plan, a driving plan, getting home, who's not going to drive. That's what we need to be discussing on these 3 islands.
Do you think that people actually do that, Brad? They actually
some do.
Some do.
Some
yes.
do.
Yeah.
But it's everybody's business.
That's right. That's right.
Everybody's business.
Correct. No, I'm not the RCIPS, but I want to appeal to our listeners and of course our viewers to do the same thing. Have a plan. It's like hurricane season.
Yes.
You must have a plan. Have a designated driver who's going to drink water for the night or Milo. I'm just being facetious, but you must have a plan. I absolutely agree with you. Now, has there been a change in driving behavior, such as speeding? And I can't wait for this answer.
Well, speeding continues to be one of our main concerns as well as a service. And when that is coupled with DUI, it is absolutely horrendous.
Deadly.
But so far this year, there has been a record of over 1,900 calls for service for incidents relating to speeding. That means that potentially there has been more than 1,900 tickets issued for the offense of speeding. And that is not including the persons who were speeding at such a rate that they could not receive a ticket. They had to be warned for intended prosecution and sent to court.
Wow.
Right. And that is a 5% increase from tickets last year at the same time period, where there were over 1,800 tickets issued at the same time period. I remember when for the whole year the tickets issued were less than this, and we were appalled. There was a time when tickets issued were like 1,750 or something like that for the entire year, and we were shocked that so many tickets were issued. It's only been half a year, not even that.
And 1,900 calls?
More than.
Over.
Yep.
I have to let that sink in. Now, Chief Inspector, Superintendent Brad, and Jodi-Ann, would you open the phone lines this morning?
Sure.
Yes? So listeners, this is your time to just call in and join the conversation. And the number to call is 949-6990. Please just use that one number. We're having just a little bit of difficulty with the phone line, but the number to call in is 949-6990. Is that correct, Susan? Yeah. 949-6990. And you can use WhatsApp as well. 925-3261 is the number for the WhatsApp. 949-6990 for the telephone line. Now, I think Susan just picked up the phone. So
that was quick.
Do we have a caller, Susan? Oh, yeah, we have a caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to the Business Buzz.
Good morning. Good morning to your panel.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
All those stats that you all is giving up there is on. I don't know what the world is right now. It's such a small island. But I just want to ask a question. The speed meters on the road, do they have cameras inside of them to pick up who's speeding?
Those you're talking about the yellow, the fixed cameras on the Netford Pearson?
Yes, and also we just put one up in Newlands. Yes.
Okay.
Just wondering if they have cameras to pick up the speeders.
Okay, those speed radars collect data for us to focus. That we can use that data to focus our attention. It does record the speeding, and that is collated by NRA. So we can actually use that data to focus our attention where we need to put our officers to detect and prosecute persons for speeding.
But I guess the answer is that no, we can't use it as a camera system at this time.
Yes.
Oh, no. Well, I just want to say that, you know, we just put one in the Newlands area on Hurst Road. And believe me, they're even driving faster than before. Since you put the speeder up there in Newlands on Hurst Road. So I'm just saying that in action that I think we need to have a live officer in that area more than in a speed meter, because the overtaking is ridiculous and the speed is ridiculous. Don't care what time of day you're coming out of there. 6 o'clock is a death trap in Newlands on Hurst Road, coming from the college down to the first the bypass. So I just want to say that something needs to be done with the Hurst Road.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. And I absolutely agree with her, because I'm caught in that traffic Tuesdays and Thursday morning at the same time, around 6 o'clock. And it's just crazy, you know.
Well, one of the things that I guess we as a service take pride in is our partnership, and we do have a good relationship with NRA, and we do have access to the data that is collected from that machine, and we can review that and see what the best times are to try to do some enforcement on that roadway.
But yeah, take this opportunity to thank the caller for her call and that information. So I'll definitely pass that on to the Eastern Districts, who is in charge of that area, and they can take the necessary action.
Okay. Thank you, Chief Superintendent. We're going to take a quick break. Thanks to our sponsors this morning, Cayman Insurance Center and Total Health. If you're just joining us, you're listening to the Big Business Buzz. We're in our second segment, and we have in the studio Chief Superintendent Brad Ebanks from the RCIPS, and alongside him, the Police Media Officer, PC Jodi-Ann Powery.
How life treating you? I don't know how you do it. Traffic, errands, and don't forget work and chores. There is no time. I need to get Sarah a dental check, and Grandpa needs a checkup too.
Oh, I'm no supermom at all. But if you need all services under one roof, look no further. Try Total Health. They offer such great quality care, and we're able to work with my entire family and our busy schedule. Guess what? They are open 6 days a week and welcome walk-ins too.
Total Health at Grand Pavilion on West Bay Road. From junior's x-rays to your daughter's dental care, their suite of services encompasses diabetology, ophthalmology, gynecology, ENT, physiotherapy, pharmacy, on-site laboratory, imaging, and the list goes on. Total Health is your one-stop convenient family healthcare solution. All the services of a hospital without the hassle.
Total Health in Grand Pavilion. Change the way you manage your family's health. Visit www.totalhealth.ky or call 333-2222.
Do you own a Honda vehicle? There is currently an urgent safety recall regarding faulty Takata airbags in Honda vehicles in the Cayman Islands. As affected vehicles get older, a combination of high temperatures and humidity can affect airbags with a fault, placing you and your family at potential risk. Car City is currently replacing any defective airbags completely free of charge. To check whether your vehicle is affected, go to carcity.ky/recalls. If your vehicle is not affected, you will require a letter from Car City stating so for your next vehicle license inspection. Without this, your vehicle will not pass its inspection. Please contact Car City Service Team to arrange this by calling 949-5525 or go to carcity.ky/recalls. The safety of you and your family is important to Car City, so please take the time to check if your vehicle is affected by this urgent Honda safety recall.
Healthcare Pharmacy, caring about your health for the past 25 years. Radio Cayman's premier health show.
Alzheimer's and dementia, are they the same disorder?
Yeah, I think that's a very important question.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush. Is heard on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. and on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Brought to you by Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor, where they care about your health. Transfer and refill your prescription online. Visit healthcarepharmacy.com. KY or call 947-8900. Healthcare Pharmacy, now with a second location in Governor's Square. Healthcare Pharmacy, where they care about your health.
We give you honor and praise, adoration and glory.
Radio Cayman.
Praise time.
Praise him, praise him. Come and let's praise the Lord. Come and let's praise the Lord. Praise him in the morning and in the evening. Oh, let's praise the Lord.
Praise time in the morning.
Praise him, praise him.
Weekdays 6 to 6:30 a.m.
Radio Cayman, waking you up.
Rock my soul in the blues of my favorite. Rock my soul in the blues of my favorite.
Praise time.
I know he cares. He'll always be there. Oh, yeah. Praise him, praise him, praise him.
Praise time.
Set your clock for 6 a.m. or you will miss it. Business Boss. Anita Khan.
RCIPS is in the house. Good morning to everybody. Good morning to our guest again. We have a call, Susan. Oh, two calls on. Two calls on. It's going to be a busy morning. We have to let Chief Superintendent go at about 1:45, but we'll take those calls. First caller, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm blessed.
Very good.
I just got, with all those stats on the fatalities, I was curious to see if anyone is keeping stats on what vehicles and the experience of the drivers that are involved in these, because there's a lot of inexperienced drivers on the road, and they're just got their license. The first time they sat behind the wheel was when they come here to Cayman. And, driving takes a lot of skills naturally, and you have to really, be paying attention to a lot of the other drivers that's just inexperienced and, can't even control the car in the wet. If the car was to slide, they don't have any idea what to do. They grab their head and start panicking, and the car just goes all over. And, if you have any stats, whether these Honda Civics or Honda Fits are involved in these fatalities, and to what ratio, and the drivers. Do we have any stats on how long the driver's been driving, and that kind of information? Because as the population grows with work permit holders, fatalities are increasing. And do we know if there's a parallel between the two? Population increased by 17%, or accidents and fatalities increased by 17%. Those are the things that would interest me to know, where we should approach things, because if we're issuing license to people that just been driving the first time they ever drove or sat behind the wheel was here in Cayman, then we got a curve that we got to stop giving license to people that really don't have the experience or don't have the knowledge they may need, or don't know much about the left-hand driving rules or rules of the road. We might need to be a little more proactive in educating our drivers in that sense, and making laws that is really can sort of weed out the ones that creates a danger to the other road users.
Okay, good suggestion. Good question. Thank you so much, caller. We'll let Chief Superintendent answer that.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for the call, caller. All right, so as it stands now, we don't have those stats. What I can say is that those persons who are inexperienced, we tend to find them being involved in other minor fender benders and minor accidents. Where we find the most serious accidents are people or persons, drivers who actually are speeding and drunk driving. There is a effort for a national road safety strategy, and that will encompass a wide spectrum of education, including schools as well. So across all ages and all nationalities on the islands. But from a serious accident perspective, we find speeding and drunk driving as the main contributing factors, while inexperienced driving tends to occur with. We see those stats in
the bumper to bumper.
Yeah, that bumper to bumper. Yeah.
Okay. And just to add as well, some of those things are what my unit look at when we're looking at messaging. Yes. Because we want to make sure that the messages that we put out hit the target that they're meant for. So it's not that we don't look at, the demographic of the people who are meeting in serious accidents or collisions. It's that we just didn't bring those information today. But it is something that is considered when we're doing messaging and where we're doing our messaging as well.
Okay. We have another caller on the line. We have another caller. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, and everyone. My focus on the subject today is going to be on traffic flow. I have the traffic light down by, we call it the four-way, Smith Road four-way. We have traffic coming from the east from two different directions. And I noticed that this has been a while, but I haven't had the opportunity to get on radio to talk about it. I noticed that if we change the timing on the lights, it would help. Because we're allowing like 50 or 60 cars to pass and bottleneck down by Papermans. If we speed up the changing of the lights, all you need is 10 to 15 cars at a time. In rotation on a four-way, I think that worked much better and would alleviate the bottlenecking that is happening. And that bottlenecking, it really sets people back a lot. I'm getting afraid to go there if I'm not going at 6 o'clock in the morning. And then after that, then you're in trouble. So I don't know if it's possible, but I think the timing on the changing of the lights should be faster, and probably in other parts of Georgetown as well, because we don't have the space to allow 50 or 60 cars to be moving at one time in a certain direction and then stop at another light. That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, caller, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Go ahead, Jay.
Thank you for the call. We'll make sure to pass that message on to NRA and see if there's something that they can do about that. I think he said that the light was down, so we'll make sure that we have an officer go and have a look at that as well.
Caller, did you say the lights are down this morning?
No, he's gone.
He's gone.
Oh.
Now. Yeah, I think he said that the light was down now.
He's still there? Oh, caller, you're still there. Okay.
I've been monitoring this for almost a year, but I haven't had a chance to really voice it to anybody. This is my first opportunity.
Yeah.
I think that will really help if we can adjust the timing in the light.
I was just checking. Did you actually say that the light is down this morning?
Not working?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Now, we have a WhatsApp message. It just says, good morning to you and your guests. Well, I have guests in the studio. Don't drive while drunk. If you're going to have a few drinks, grab a friend you can trust that don't drive and can safely drive. Know your friends. Thank you so much for that WhatsApp message. Now, Brad, I've got Chief Superintendent Brad. I have a question.
Yes,
well, not a question. It's something I noticed. Observation.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Correct. That's correct. Around the roundabout by the Georgetown Primary School, there's no indication that a school is in the area.
Okay.
There are no signs, there are no traffic lights to go slow or just warning that it's a school zone. There's no indication at all. And we do have children who do walk home from school in the Poindexter area, Frank Hall area, just around basically, in the neighborhood. And people, I've noticed coming around the roundabout, coming from town on the east-west, as they approach the roundabout, they'll speed up because they don't see any cars in either direction, so they'll speed up. So if you're coming from the school, from the exit to the school, you'll notice just the cars are just speeding. So
Okay.
if you can put in a good word for the students and the parents.
Definitely. And I'm actually surprised that there's no signs of any.
Unless I missed it or missed them.
No, you didn't.
I think Jody's.
You're agreeing, right, Jodi-Ann?
Yes.
Okay, we have a caller. We're going to take a quick break, but let's take that caller first. Caller, good morning.
Hi, good morning. I just have a quick question regarding traffic as well.
Sure.
So I come from the Eastern Districts, and I notice a lot of the times that bad driving kind of adds to the traffic, whether it's people switching lanes where they're not supposed to be or overtaking where they're not supposed to be. And I remember about 10 or 12 years ago, there was always police by Red Bay School and stuff kind of mitigating that. Is there any plans for that from the RCIPS at certain bottleneck points such as Hurley's and other roundabouts where police presence is needed? Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Now, Jodi-Ann, can I just say something first?
Sure.
I absolutely agree with her because
I understand.
All I'm saying, I would advise drivers, stay in your lane.
Yes.
So I think that, and boss, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we had officers stationed at those particular roundabouts because they were unfinished at the time.
Mm-hmm.
They are now complete with the barriers and all of that do the indication of which lane to choose and all that kind of things. And that's the reason why we no longer station officers statically in those locations, because the job of the officer is now done with the markings on the road and with the barriers that are put up in the roundabout to prevent people from going in certain directions and from switching lanes on the roundabout itself.
But that's not happening.
It is to a certain extent, because if a vehicle is in the extreme right lane, they can't, once they've gotten to the point of the barriers, they can't switch over into the left lanes. However, what the caller is describing is that when people are approaching those barriers, they're switching lanes at that point, and that is a driving behavior issue. It's for the individuals to drive with courtesy and with consideration. And that's what we are here asking people to do every day, because we're all going somewhere. We all have to arrive somewhere at a certain time. So if you know that you have to get somewhere before me, make sure that you leave home before me. So that you don't have to cut me off in traffic.
Okay, we have callers on the line. Callers, can you please hold for us? We have to make some money. And thank our sponsors. We would like to say thanks to Total Health and Cayman Insurance Center.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
And for 45 years, we have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Do you own a Honda vehicle? There is currently an urgent safety recall regarding faulty Takata airbags in Honda vehicles in the Cayman Islands. As affected vehicles get older, a combination of high temperatures and humidity can affect airbags with a fault, placing you and your family at potential risk. Car City is currently replacing any defective airbags completely free of charge. To check whether your vehicle is affected, go to carcity.ky/recalls. If your vehicle is not affected, you will require a letter from Car City stating so for your next vehicle licensing inspection. Without this, your vehicle will not pass its inspection. Please contact Car City Service Team to arrange this by calling 949-5525 or go to carcity.ky/recalls. The safety of you and your family is important to Car City, so please take the time to check if your vehicle is affected by this urgent Honda safety recall.
How life treating you? I don't know how you do it. Traffic, errands, and don't forget work and chores. There is no time. I need to get Sarah a dental check, and Grandpa needs a checkup too.
Oh, I'm no supermom at all. But if you need all services under one roof, look no further. Try Total Health. They offer such great quality care, and we're able to work with my entire family and our busy schedule. Guess what? They are open 6 days a week and welcome walk-ins too.
Total Health at Grand Pavilion on West Bay Road. From Junior's X-rays to your daughter's dental care, their suite of services encompasses diabetology, ophthalmology, gynecology, ENT, physiotherapy, pharmacy, on-site laboratory, imaging, and the list goes on. Total Health is your one-stop convenient family healthcare solution. All the services of a hospital without the hassle.
Total Health in Grand Pavilion. Change the way you manage your family's health. Visit www.totalhealth.ky or call 333-2222.
We are now in the hurricane season, and to survive a hurricane, you need to be informed. If you have been informed by official sources that a hurricane is approaching the Cayman Islands, and you live in a low-lying area that is prone to flooding or near the beaches, which may be swept by high tides or storm waves, please seek a safe place and high ground. If the only way for you to get to a safe place is a road that is also likely to be flooded during a storm, please leave home early. Don't run the risk of being stranded. This has been a public service announcement from your community station, Radio Cayman.
Business Boss. Business Boss with your host, Anita Khan.
We have in the studio this morning from the RCIPS, Chief Superintendent Ebanks. We've got to let him go. So, Chief Superintendent, just let us know what's on your mind before we let you go.
I just want to say in closing, when we give these stats, it really sinks the message home of how serious the condition is, or the situation is in our islands with serious and fatal accidents. So before I depart, I just want to say to the public, when you're on the road, have consideration for other drivers. A number of these accidents, when we look at these incidents, they not only include one vehicle, but two. So they're innocent persons that are being injured or killed on our roads. During our campaign for this year, we're going to look at how we can curtail the driving culture, which in my opinion has deteriorated tremendously in our three islands. When I was a young man growing up, if there was a fatal accident, people drove slow for months. Today, as you release the scene, they speed by the accident scene. This is not the culture that we want to see continue in our islands. We have to be more responsible. Yeah. Drunk driving and speeding are our two main contributing factors to serious and fatal accidents. This is where we need to concentrate and focus our efforts. Distracted driving, use of cell phone, just driving without due care and attention are main contributing factors to the more miscellaneous accidents. Those are important as well. But we need to focus on these serious accidents that we're seeing. And we will enforce speeding and DUI to the utmost best of our ability. So people need to adhere. Do not drink and drive. Do not speed.
On that note, Chief Superintendent, we'll let you go because we know you have to go. We still have a call on the line, Soups? Yes, Jodi-Ann, you'll take those calls, right?
Yes, I will.
She's very capable of taking those calls. So she's going to let her boss go. Thank you very much, Chief Superintendent. hopefully we'll have you back in the studio next month.
Okay, thank you.
And hopefully you'll be able to take calls.
All right.
But we'll see how that works out.
Okay,
but,
thanks
in the meantime, thank you. Have a good one. In the meantime, we'll take that call too. Caller, good morning.
Hi, morning.
Good morning, sir.
I just have a question about the traffic lights at by the cricket field.
Yes.
Okay, if you're going towards Smith Road, you're going towards town. You know there are two lanes there, right? There's the left and the right.
Yes, sir.
And I was in the left lane, and the turn right green arrow went on, as it did on the other lane. So I was in the left lane, and I turned right. And there was a lot of horn blowing as if I was doing something wrong. So I am wondering if, if I was wrong in turning right, even though I was in the left lane and the first car, I was the first car, so I could do it, And I was turning now to go in front of the cricket field to go down to where, Butterfield is there. So I wondered if you could answer that for me.
Sure. So if I'm not mistaken, you're speaking about, the caller was speaking about the Bobby Thompson stoplight, which is the one that the previous caller referenced as well. So that way actually has 4 lanes when you look at it properly. There is one lane to the extreme left that takes persons to
Bobby Thompson.
No, to Smith Road when you're going into town from Bobby Thompson Way. There is 2 lanes that go straight across the roundabout, and then there is actually a turn right lane where the arrow directs. So if you were in the lane, in one of the lanes that goes straight across, and you turned left, and you turned right, then yes, you did in fact do something incorrect there, because there is a dedicated lane for persons to turn right. And if you had turned right and then there was somebody in the lane that was also turning right, you could have caused a collision. So yes, that was in fact incorrect.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 lanes there, right?
Going
Not
directly
3.
across.
There are just 2 lanes going down towards Smith Road. There's 1 lane on the right and 1 lane on the left. And both lanes can turn right.
So are you
even
speaking...
If the oncoming lane, even if the oncoming lane is turning right, you won't collide with them, because there is that provision in the junction for people to turn right from both directions. And there is a right turn green arrow on the left lane. There are 2 right turn green arrows, one on the right lane and one on the left lane.
Right. What I'm saying is that there is a dedicated lane, no matter what direction you're coming from, to turn right. And if you were not in that dedicated lane, then yes, you in fact did something wrong there. Something was wrong with that action.
Perhaps you all should remove the green turn right arrow from that lane, because that is why I turned right. The arrow said you can turn right.
Okay,
and if you look at the junction, you can turn right without colliding with anybody.
Maybe, Jodi-Ann, that's something you'll have to look at.
Yeah, we can get some aerial footage to see what exactly, because I'm utterly confused at the moment. No, I know that there are turn right lanes, specific lanes for turning right, and there are arrows in the road that show you which lane it is that you need to be in if you're going to turn right. And then there are lanes that go directly across each section of that stoplight. So I can have a look at it, and maybe next time when we're back we can discuss it a little bit more. But yeah.
Well, thank you, Jodi-Ann. Listener, caller, we'll try to get an answer for you. Okay. Next time the RCIPS in the studio, I'll be next month, 2nd Thursday in the month. So do we have another caller? No other caller. Jodi-Ann?
Yes.
Okay, so other areas that are problematic for the police, off the top of your head.
Like the boss alluded to, speeding and DUI is one of our is our main concern, and I want to highlight the National Drug Council because they have been on a never-ending crusade to try to solve that problem. And one of the things that they do offer is they offer a TIPS program. And what it is training for bartenders, for bars and event coordinators, so that bartenders can identify when somebody has had too much and stop serving them alcohol. And I think that it is such an important program, and I wanted to highlight that. And the National Drug Council for their efforts. They've always included us in all of their campaigns and the things that they're doing, whether it be a school program or, just to come out and have a discussion. So, that's one of the things, but definitely DUI and speeding is one of the major problems that we have. But there are so many different things we've issued in total, including the speeding that we've already mentioned. In total, over 4,150 tickets for the year so far. And amongst those, it's for persons parking in disabled parking, failing to comply with traffic signals, such as, the stoplight that was mentioned twice today, failing to have their child wear a seatbelt is one of the significant things. Seatbelt in itself is an issue, but when you don't have your child in a proper seat or wearing a seatbelt, depending on their size and age, that becomes another issue. And various other parking violation, tint, the mobile phones. One of the things that the boss didn't get to discuss this morning, but that he mentioned to me was that and it's always when we're in our personal vehicles that we see these things. But persons who are driving and they hold the phone up, the phone is on speaker, and they hold the phone up in front of them, that is still using the mobile phone while you're driving, even if you don't have the phone by your ear.
And that is still an offense.
And it still constitutes an offense. There's nothing wrong with putting the phone on speaker, but you cannot have it in your hand. The law allows for you to have a one-touch motion for your phone, and that is it. So if you have to hold it, if you have to continually press it, like sending a text message, whatever the case may be, then it's still an offense.
Jodi-Ann, I want to say thank you so much. It's 2 minutes after 9 o'clock. We've gone over time. I want to say thank you to Chief Superintendent Brad Ebanks for being here earlier, and also the callers. Thank you for your comments, your suggestions, your questions. We do appreciate them. And Jodi-Ann, thank you for allowing us to open up the phone lines this morning.
Thanks you for having me.
You're very welcome.
I just want to highlight that we have a continuous media campaign when it comes to safe driving. And if you want to take part, or if you just want to view, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, and we're on Facebook, as well as we have our mobile app and our website that we often post things on. So definitely check us out and stay in the know.
Okay. Thanks to our sponsor this morning, Cayman Insurance Center and Total Health. Thanks to our listeners, you are YouTube viewers, producer of The Buzz, Susan Watson, until Tuesday. But before we go, just going to remind you, also thanks to our visitor, or guest on the first segment this morning, Maureen Cubbon, Chair of Cayman Heart Fund, and Dr. Ravi Kishore Amancharla of Health City. And make sure you get out to that Cayman Cardiovascular Health Care Conference on Saturday. It starts tomorrow, but we start tomorrow and Saturday. And get your free screening done. In the meantime, stay safe. We'll see you back, God's willing, on Tuesday, June 13th for another Business Buzz.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services.
And Total Health in Grand Pavilion. Change the way you manage your family's health. Visit www.totalhealth.ky or call 333-2222.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Bracken, Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.